So today our topic is teaching with songs and games. And every Light of the World lesson contains either a song or a game. Usually the odd number lessons have songs and the even number lessons have games. But both of these are a great way for students to get lots of repetitive practice with their vocabulary and grammar and pronunciation. But at the same time, it's fun. So it doesn't feel like a drill. You know, if you need to repeat a word 100 times before you fully grasp it, it's a lot more fun to do that with a song or a game than just to, write it in your notebook 100 times while you're saying it. So it's also an opportunity in the class for us to get the students out of their seats and up and moving. That kind of wakes them up. We find, especially with adult students, if they have been working all day and then they come to English classes, sometimes they're pretty tired. And if you just let them sit down in a chair for 2 hours, they're going to fall asleep on you. So it's great to get them up and moving. Even if we're on Zoom, we can ask them, to stand up and do some movements and gestures as we are playing these games. So let me show you what I'm going to do first is share my screen. And it's really important if you share your screen, if you're using Zoom or Google Meet, make sure that you share the sound. So on Zoom, there's a little box you have to click to share your computer sound. And once you do that, then when you show your PowerPoint presentation and you click on the little sound icon, you will be able to hear the sound. So the songs that we have in these lessons usually tie to the Bible story or the vocabulary theme of the lesson, or both. In this case, I'm going to show you a song that does both. In this lesson 17, we learned about Moses and the 10 Commandments, and we also were working on prepositions. So this song was created to reinforce both of those things. And so you can find in your teacher's notes, if you look down at your teacher's notes, it gives you the instructions for teaching a song. So the first thing we do is we model by reading the song lyrics out loud to the class and ask if there's any questions about words that are in the song. So I'll go ahead and do that. So this is the Moses song, and we can see, who can tell me, who is this guy in the picture?
Moses.
Moses, very good. Good job. Yes, that is Moses. And what is Moses holding in his hands?
The 10 Commandments.
The 10 Commandments. Yes. So we are going to sing this song. Listen carefully as I read the words to you. Moses walked across the desert. Moses prayed to God above. He led God's people out of Egypt and told them of his love. Moses walked up the mountain and walked down with God's commands. Then they walked around for 40 years to reach the promised land. Okay, the motions are optional, but I find it helps my students a lot if I'm doing some motions with the songs to help them understand it. So class, do you have any questions on any words in this song? Are there any new words for you?
What's the difference between across and around?
Oh, that's a good question. So across, usually across means to go over something, like we can walk across a bridge, or we can walk across the street from one side to the other side. And around is usually to go kind of in a circle. So I can walk around the block. It means to go from one point and come back to that same point in kind of a not direct way. Does that help, Mike?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. What I can also do if I'm stuck, if someone asks me for a definition and I just can't think of a good way, or they're not getting it, we can always go to a bilingual dictionary or use Google Translate, and give them the word in their first language. But usually we try first to explain it in English. We don't want to get over reliant on translation. Okay.
So are we already assuming at this point that, so we're teaching English as a second language. Are we assuming that they can read all these words already? Or is it just based on what you said?
Well, okay, so this is lesson 17. And so depending on the students' abilities and where they started, they will probably by this time, if they are literate in the Roman alphabet, and they've gone through the previous 16 lessons, they should be able to read the majority of these words. This also comes later in the lesson. So in this lesson, we have already talked about the meaning of all of the prepositions. So in the beginning, we've learned all of these prepositions. And in this lesson, we have already read the story of Moses taking the people out of Egypt. And they have read the story in their first language. So as part of the whole process that we go through in the lesson, this is part 7 of the lesson. So they've already gone through the first 6 parts of learning the vocabulary, learning the Bible story in their first language and in English. So yeah, we're hopeful that they will be able to read and understand at this point.
So let me ask another question.
Yeah.
Are we assuming that everyone in the room is speaks one language? In other words, is it all Portuguese, and now we're teaching them? What if they're French, Portuguese, whatever the Haitians,
Yeah, like, so as I was teaching, because for 20 years, I was an ESL teacher in Chicago. And so most of my classes were mixed. People would speak Spanish and Polish and Creole, all in the same group. But that's going to be different for everyone. So Kezia is in Brazil, and all of her students are going to be Portuguese students, Portuguese speakers. But depending on your classroom, it could be mixed or it could be uniform. Yeah, that's a great question. So After we go through this first step of reading the song lyrics out loud, defining any words that are tricky for them, then I will play the song. So it depends on you. If you like to sing and you just want to sing it yourself, you absolutely can. If you want to play the recorded song, all you have to do is click on this little icon. So every slide in the top left corner has an audio icon, and just hit play.
Moses walked across the desert. Moses prayed to God above. He led God's people out of Egypt and told them of his love. Moses walked up the mountain and walked down with God's commands. Then they walked around for 40 years to reach the promised land.
Okay, so that's the song. So then you can play it a couple of times and then sing it along with the students. And again, if you can get them to do some gestures, that can make it fun depending on your group. I usually find I tend to be pretty silly. And so I'll do the gestures and the movements, and some of my students are too serious for that. They won't go along. But then usually if they see me acting goofy, they feel more free to do it as well. And we're often laughing during this segment. And so, yeah, so then we spend a couple of times, we try to get everybody to sing it together. And then solo, we can ask is there anybody who would like to sing the song by themselves? And often we will have somebody in the class who's kind of a ham who likes to do it. Or, but if not, we can, we could just ask somebody, okay, would you like to read it aloud? And so that gives us a chance, so they can just read it and we can sing along with them. And I always encourage the students to practice these songs at home because they are on YouTube. So when they go to their YouTube lesson, they could play this song over and over again and practice it some more. So that is how we use songs. Any questions about this?
Well, we'd like to see your hand motions.
Yeah, so I do and there's no set way to do it. You can do they walked across the desert, or they walked across the desert. I say he prayed to God above, and I do the above. He led, I do a kind of come on, he led God's people out of Egypt. If you want, you can do like the walk like an Egyptian.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I can't, however you do that. And told them of his, so I point up God's love. I try to do a little heart with my hands. Heart. Moses walked, so I do a walking motion. He walked up the mountain. If you want to make a mountain, you can do that. And then walk down, down with God's commands. And then they walked around. I can't turn all the way around. I'll strangle myself with my cord, but you could spin around to show around with God's commands. And then to reach the promised land, we can reach the promised land.
The Chinese love stuff like that. Young and old, they'll join right in.
Good. Yeah. So, and that makes it fun. And it is, a lot of it's cultural. So you're right. Chinese love to do that. but like some of my Eastern European students, like my Russian students, oh, they're very serious and they do not, I'm not going to get them doing this. So you have to know your group. Yeah, but again, if I'm willing to go out there and make a fool of myself, they feel more comfortable with it as well. Also, I have a terrible singing voice, and so I think that really relaxes people too, because some people feel very embarrassed, that they're not great singers. But then when they hear me do it, they're like, oh, okay, you don't have to be a great singer. All right, so that is songs. And often as we do lessons, after we do that song, sometimes people will say, oh, could we do that other song that we learned last week? And so this is a time for the lesson. You can do a couple of songs if they request it. Like sometimes they'll say, can we do head and shoulders, knees and toes again? Or whatever, one of their favorite songs. So you can go back to previous lesson songs and do that if you have time. Sometimes I'll even use it as an incentive. I'm like, okay, well, if you guys, if everybody in the class finishes their homework next week, we'll spend extra time on singing or extra time on playing the game. So, or if everybody's really quiet and we get through our next lessons, yes, we can do another song at the end of the class. So it can be a reward as well. All right, so now let me show you another thing that we use in addition to songs is games. And so there's 3 games that we typically use in level 1. We use Simon Says, we use charades, where you act out different words, and we also use Pictionary, kind of where you draw a picture and people have to guess what it is. The reason we pick those 3 games for level 1 is that once again, they use total physical response. So students have to use their bodies. They get some movement and sensory input, and that helps them to retain vocabulary better. And we didn't want to have an infinite variety of games so that you have to spend, half of the class explaining the rules to a new game. So by using the same 3 games in the level 1 lessons, they come to know when we say, okay, we're going to play Simon Says, they know what that means. So I'm going to just do let's see, an example of here. So for this one, Simon Says, this is from lesson 10. And lesson 10 was classroom commands. So they were learning things like, please open your book, please write in your book, please don't draw in your book. And they were learning some basic words like window, door, sit, listen. And so this game gives them a chance to repeat those vocabulary words. Now, it's going to be a little bit different if you're playing on Zoom or you're playing in person. You can't always do as much on Zoom because you got to stay in front of the camera. So if you've played Simon Says before, you know that the rule is that when you say Simon Says, everybody has to do what you say. But if you don't say Simon Says, people don't have to do what you say. This one's a variation because we're using the word please instead of Simon Says. So if I say, please raise your hand. Everybody raises your hand. Come on, Bruce. Please raise your hand. All right. And please raise your other hand. Put your hands down. I didn't say please, Kezia. Very good, very good. All right. Please put your hands down. Okay, so with this game, they have to listen. If you say please, they do it. If you don't say please, they don't do it. For you as an instructor, though, you're going to be doing it and try to trick them into doing it, right? So we have things here. Now, you guys can see the teacher's notes right now. But typically during class, I would have the teacher's notes hidden so I can see them, but the students cannot see them. All right, so we'll start out. So class, are you ready? Please stand up. Please sit down. Please raise your right hand. Raise your left hand. I didn't say please. Very good. Please put your hands down. Please, let's see. Please hold up your pen. Please put your pen over your head. Please put your pen in your other hand. Put your pen down. All right, very good. You guys are getting good at this. Okay, so you can see those are some of the things. Now, if we're on Zoom, we want to make sure that we have things that people can access, right? So if I say, please open your book, but not everybody has a book, that's not going to work. You can also I've seen some people with Zoom will use the response emojis. If you have those activated in your Zoom account, then people can use you can say, please use the thumbs up, please use the thumb down. There's little emoji buttons, but I find it's easier if people are physically doing something instead of trying to find those buttons and clicking on them. Okay, so any questions about Simon Says? Now, another game we can do which is similar. Let's see, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and I'm going to share my whiteboard now. So you guys, because we're on Zoom, you have the ability to annotate and write on the screen along with me. So you might want to look on your screen and see if you can find, because it's in a different place on everybody's screen, a little menu that says annotation tools. Or you might see 3 dots that say more. And if you click on that, it gives you the option of annotation tools. But what that allows us to do is we can write on the screen. So for example, I'm going to just draw a little stick figure person here. Let's see. Can any of you find your pencil and write on the screen as well?
I don't see how to do that.
With this Zoom, the Zoom account that the link that you sent us doesn't have anything but chat, share screen, record, and reactions. There's not the 3. I know that when I use Zoom at school, my account's very robust, has breakout sessions, it has all of that. but there's no three little dots on here. So
So
we
I
have-
just saw Mike and Joanna just did it. Well, it might be Bruce because you're not the host, but you still should have, as a participant, you should have the annotation tools. There, Mike and Joanna just drew their little face.
View options. You can annotate.
Up at the
Okay, it's
top,
under
Up at the top.
view options, annotate.
Mine just says standard side by side, gallery, swap video, shared screen, exit full screen.
Okay, and you don't have a more or oh, Bruce, we can't hear you. You're muted. Kezia,
I
and you
never-
can't find yours
Yeah,
either.
I never encourage my students to do anything while I'm teaching, so I'm not used to offering that to them.
Okay, I'll find, you know what, I will find the instructions and send them to you guys. It's a little bit different, like, you know, depending on the computer you're using. Oh, there you go, Bruce, you found it.
Right.
Where was it?
It's up where you said, but that option's only available when you share your screen. When you share your screen with us, now I can see it. But
Okay.
whenever you stop sharing, down on our normal icon bar, the task bar below, there's not that option's not there. That's where I was looking for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
got
it might be up at the top, Kezia. I don't know if you're using a phone. Are you using a phone or a computer?
No, just the computer.
Do you see at the top of the screen?
Yeah.
Do you see more or annotations?
Oh, yes, there is an option, annotate.
Yes.
Okay, now I see.
Okay, good. Good. So there's a lot of neat things you can do. Once your students have an annotation, they find their pencils and they can annotate. Like you can have them write on the PowerPoint and circle words that you can say, like, find the word Moses, and then they circle the word Moses. Or if there's a word they don't understand, sometimes they say the word and you can't understand it because they don't know how to pronounce it and you don't know what they're saying. So if they can, circle it on the screen, that is really helpful. So if they say, what is this word? Nice? And then I can say, oh, no, not nice. It's nice. Have a nice day. Okay, so for Pictionary, what we will do is people will take turns saying guessing the words and drawing the words. So for example, I can draw this. And again, I'm not a terrific artist, but that's okay because students, when they see my bad drawings, they're like, oh, I could do that at least. So Kezia, what is this?
A cat.
Yes, very good. It's a cat. Okay. And now let's see. Mike and Joanna, can you draw a picture and have us guess it?
Sure, honey, you want to do it? She's the better drawer.
I hadn't thought of anything. Let me think okay, we'll think of something here. Let's see. Oh, why is this not? Do I have control?
Click there.
Oh,
You're okay now.
And I also have a little eraser, so I can get rid of things just by clicking on them with my eraser, so we make more room on the screen.
that's right.
Click on draw, and then we can get a pen or a tool. I don't see where that pencil went.
We lost our pencil. Oh, there, I just saw it. You just made a green line.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you, Bruce. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, Bruce, do you want to draw a picture and we'll
Yeah.
guess what it is?
Oh, okay. I'm not very good either.
Ooh, very,
Ooh, that's good.
That's good.
that's good.
Not really, but okay. So what is that?
What do you guys think? What is that?
It's a car.
Right. This is the radio.
Yes.
The antenna. Whoa, there's music.
Very nice, very nice. Kezia, can you draw a picture for us?
Oh, let me try. Oh my God.
Now, obviously, if you're in the classroom, you can do this on the chalkboard or the whiteboard. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Broken
Oh.
heart. No, pumpkin, no, strawberry.
Yeah, strawberry.
Strawberry. Nice. Good use of
Yeah.
color. Wow. Oh, little seeds on it and everything.
Yeah.
Teacher.
I do my best.
Yeah.
Now, another thing we can do, let's see, how do I get rid of this? So if I want to, I can use my chat box and I can send you a message to tell you the vocabulary words that I want you to act out or draw. So what I'm doing now is I'm sending, let's see. I sent a message to Mike and Joanna of the vocabulary word. Did you guys, can you check your chat messages and see what
Yeah.
I sent?
Yeah.
Okay. And now go ahead. That's what I want you to draw a picture of for the class to guess.
Okay. Let's see if we can get that. Well, I don't know where that pencil went. Maybe here. Okay. Oh, no. Arrow, eraser, format. Yeah, we just cannot find a pencil anywhere.
Okay.
He disappeared.
Your pencil disappeared. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
How about Bruce or Kezia? Can you draw a picture of the word I sent you in the chat box?
Not an artist.
That's what makes it fun.
I can't do it. Not an artist.
It's a baby
Here's
monster.
the two main things. You can guess what
It's a
those
baby
are.
monster. I'm sorry.
All right.
Time
So,
is out. The mouse.
I'm not
so
an artist.
Sorry.
but that's
Bruce,
okay
please.
because part of it is we're just trying to get people to use vocabulary. So, oh, bring it back, Bruce. I like
I'm
that.
going to do something different. Oh,
Okay.
draw line.
So Mike and Joanna, can you guess what Kezia's picture is? The one in black?
baby.
Yes, a baby. Very good. All right,
The little hair told us.
The little hair. I like the little fang.
the little bang. So another thing that I can do, like when we're playing charades, I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a second. Bruce, I'll give you a reprieve from trying to draw a camel.
Okay, thank you.
I can go to, let's see, let me go back to my desktop. So we have, this is our Light of the World vocabulary list. So it shows all of the words that are taught in each lesson. So for example, if we are on lesson 5, we know that students have already learned all of these words up to lesson 5. So I can choose any of these words here for us to use in our charades game or our Pictionary game. And so what I could do in the class is like select like 5 words for each student. Oops, sorry, our time is almost up. And I can copy that and then go to the chat box, and I can share those with the students. And so each student, I'm going to give each of you a different list of about 5 words that you could act out in charades. So I sent 5 words to Bruce. Here we go. 5 words to Kezia and 5 words to Joanna and Mike. And so all I'm doing is copying those and pasting them in the chat box. And so that makes it, so each of you has a different list of words now. And so if we were going to play the game charades, let me ask you, Mike and Joanna, can you act out one of your words and we will try to guess it? What do you think, Kezia and Bruce? What is that?
Sweetheart. I don't know.
Think simple.
What did you say, Kezia?
Hug. They are.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Hug. Okay, nice. And so if we're playing charades, we can have students, each one can act out some of the different words on their list, and the other people have to guess them. In Zoom, we can use the chat box for that. In a real live classroom, I can write down 5 words on a piece of paper and give a different list to each student. And with charades, depending on the levels, you can change the rules. So for very beginning students, it's good to use simple gestures, like hug. As you get to more advanced students, I take out the prohibition of speaking during charades and I let them talk. They can say any words, but not the word on the paper. So they can say, it's when you take your 2 arms and put it around someone. Or you can say it's a word that means to squeeze a person, so that they're talking more and using other vocabulary. All right, so any questions about charades or Pictionary?
Yep. How did you get access to that vocabulary list? Where's that in the materials?
Oh, so the vocabulary list is actually at the end of each lesson. Let's see. Hang on. You guys can see my screen now. Sure. So at the end of each lesson, the very last slide of the lesson in the appendix, they have a link to the Light of the World vocabulary list. There's also a link to the YouTube videos, the lesson downloads, and irregular verb list, and just the general instructions for how to use lessons. But those are available at the end of each slide lesson presentation.
Okay. Another question I had is, do you give them this PowerPoint material before the class or after the class, or do you just keep that kind of your own in your own possession? And and not give it to them?
Yeah, so I like to, I give the students the link to the entire lesson library so they can go through the lessons whenever they want. You can, so then the students can have the lesson on their phone and be viewing it on their phone or their device. You can also have them printed out so they have it on paper and they can write on it. We have printable versions in black and white if that's more economical. And yes, but I want students to have access to the lessons. If you give them the printable versions, they don't have the teacher's notes, which is, because some students, when they get to the homework, they'll just look at the teacher's notes for the answers and fill those in. But I always let them know, it's like, look, you're the one who wants to learn English. It's not helping you just to copy the answers from the teacher's notes. So if you want to learn, you need to be doing this on your by yourself. It doesn't bother me if you're copying and cheating on your homework. You're just cheating yourself. So I don't keep it a top secret. And I also give them the link to the YouTube videos so they can watch those at home and hear the audio pronunciation for each slide.
Melina,
Yes.
because I remember something. On lesson 4, slide 8, we have, I don't know if we show.
Yes.
Possessive adjective, but I think it's possessive pronoun, no? Because I have here my, your. It is.
Oh, so
possessive
actually,
adjective?
no, that is the possessive adjective. So the possessive pronoun is mine, M-I-N-E, and the possessive adjective is my, M-Y.
Oh, it is true. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it is possessive pronoun. Oh, okay, possessive adjective.
Right. And so it's a little bit confusing. Yeah, but in English we have my, my is an adjective that modifies like water. This is my water. But it could be a pronoun. I could just say this is mine, M-I-N-E, and then I don't use the word water. I just say this is mine. And so the pronoun takes the place of the word water.
I thought that possessive pronoun is the mine, yours.
Yes.
I thought it's the same.
Oh, right. Yeah, they're a little bit different because possessive pronouns we don't use with a noun. Possessive adjectives go in front of the noun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, great question. All right, you guys, I gotta run. But thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday for our next meeting.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Have a great day.